So the Spida Elite Camp was ongoing, I think, over the weekend. And I'm assuming, since we have the Chris Paul Elite Camp for point guards, I'm assuming the Donovan Mitchell Elite Camp is supposed to be the best shooting guards in the country. But I guess I don't formally know this. I haven't heard of the Spida Elite Camp before. Maybe there's some crossover between point guards and shooting guards. Maybe it's an Adidas event. I don't fully know exactly what it is, but a
It's
lot of
it's more Adidas leaning kids, I believe.
okay, so a lot of great guards were there. Two of them, Mikel Brown, Acaden Lewis, two guards that are incoming freshmen in college basketball that we have a rooting interest in, a vested intrigue in, you could say. Mikel has been a star all summer. He was the best player on Team USA at the FIBA World Cup, and he's just looked sensational basically anytime he's grabbed the basketball, other than that one All-Star event where he was like, I don't know, 0 for 9 from 3 or something. Acaden Lewis, I love him. If you've watched the channel historically, that's been quote unquote my guy. It was him and Jasper Johnson last cycle. That in this class, I just believe in these guys, and I think they're way underrated. Acaden, maybe the most underrated player in the country. I put Acaden uh, number 2 on my list of guys I'm irrationally high on for this upcoming year. I compared him to Jeremiah Fears, Cart. I think there's a world he does everything for Nova and ends up a lottery pick. We'll see. I digress. Mikel and Acaden, why are we talking about them? Well, because they played one-on-one at this camp, and we got some extended footage of this one-on-one game. And this was heated. This was competitive ones. This was not just like, let's roll the ball out after practice and kind of dick around a little bit. This was, oh shit, there's an audience. There's cameras rolling. There's coaches watching. There's NBA guys in the gym. Let's go at it. Louisville star Mikel Brown and Villanova's point guard Acaden Lewis. And I thought both guys had good moments in this video. What did you learn from Mikel Brown versus Acaden Lewis?
Well, one, I think it's really good to see because even like at these camps, I feel like you see one-on-one stuff, right? Like I feel like there is some ones, there is some up and down stuff. This was high level ones though, right? Like this was, I think, both guys legit, not even in a bad way, but like taking it personal of the guy across from them, right? And I think they both had moments. I think a Caden, talking about him a little bit. I thought he used his body very well in these clips in the 1v1. He's also like very crafty. Like you saw he was kind of like able to get to the hoop, jab, spin, scoop layup. Like he had that one reverse pivot where he seemed like he was kind of cut off. Some very crafty stuff from him around the rim. He also had the very quick hands to get steals on one. And then we know what Mikel Brown can do. Obviously, he had the star clip on this one. He had a little right to left and just absolutely took off and punched it with his left hand all over Caden. That was disgusting. I also had a defensive stop in this one for the folks that wanted to see a little bit of that. But I think this was very high level ones from two very good young point guards that I think are going to be very important, integral to their team this year. And obviously Mikel with Louisville is going to be playing with a lot of other good guards, but he's going to be a big part of that backcourt. And then Caden's going to be asked to do a lot for Louisville. Sorry, not Louisville. My apologies, Villanova this season. Picking up the slack and having a lot of the ball in his hands as he's playing next to Devin Askew. Kevin Willard's got to answer for his sins, by the way. But I'm very excited to watch both these guys this season.
So yeah, I think in the footage that was shared here, and it was like NBA Future Starts Now that posted the video of this, and a bunch of people aggregated it, excuse me. But I think we saw 2 buckets from Mikel, 2 buckets from Acaden, 1 stop from Mikel, 1 stop from Acaden. So shout out to whoever edited this video, because I think showing the stops helped show that this was a really competitive game of ones. This was not just like, let's go score and put on a show. This was, no, F you. Like, no, no, stop, no. Like, I feel like that's what was going on here. And if you know the backstory of a Caden Lewis, it makes sense why this was so competitive. Because the thing that I have loved about Caden, the player, from the jump of his recruitment, is this is a kid who has always wanted to smoke, has always bet on himself every single turn, one by one by one. I mean, you look through this. Kane Lewis was like a 3-star recruit, super underrated. He was torching kids last summer. His rankings skyrocketed, and teams that were, I think, like Penn State and Michigan were on him at first, a couple other schools under the radar. Then all of a sudden, the Blue Bloods were like, okay, he's good enough. And Acaden, the moment the Blue Bloods came calling, was like, hell yeah, I'm a blue blood point guard. Like, respectfully to the others that brought me in, like, I've always known I'm this good. That's why I waited. And now here I'm going to get the fruits of my labor. I'm going to go to a blue blood. He put out his final five and it was all blue bloods. I remember last year. He chose Kentucky very quickly. Obviously, you choose to go to Kentucky like early in the Mark Pope era, you know there's going to be big time talents coming in. But he goes to Kentucky, and let's just call it what it is. Mark Pope recruited over him, right? Like he kind of recruited over his entire freshman backcourt. It was supposed to be Acaden and Jasper together, and instead he said, "No, give me Jalen Lowe." This video is brought to you by NBA 2K Labs or maybe college football labs because the people behind 2K Labs have just built something awesome. CFBLabs.com has everything you need to play college football 26 even better. Cart, you've been playing the game, right?
I have been, but I'm behind the eight ball, Gregory. There's a lot of people out there who got a little bit of edge on me, but the good folks over at 2K Labs got me covered. They got the playbooks I need, the plays, the head-to-head coaches, knowing some teams. Obviously, way too many college football teams. I need the inside edge here, and they got all different types of things to help me get that edge.
Yeah, I jumped in and started playing Road to Glory over the weekend, and I ended up like a two-star recruit that did not get one snap in season one because I chose the wrong school with the wrong roster that was way too loaded. Had I known that CFBLabs.com exists, I would have made a much more wise decision in my Road to Glory mode. They've got teams, playbooks, coaches, team comparison tools. You can literally see every single play in the game, every player in the game, their rating, what they're good at, all in one consolidated place online to help you make the right choices and win more games in college football 26. CFBLabs.com. Go check it out. And Acaden said, "No, F this. Again, I'm going to bet on myself." And you could flip this as selfishness if you want. That's just not who the kid is. He's a humble kid who just believes he's a pro and wants the smoke and wants to go somewhere. That's why I compare him to Jeremiah Fears. They have different games, but Jeremiah Fears was the same way. No, I'm not waiting for anybody. I'm good enough. Put the ball in my hands and let me show you. And that's what he's going to get at Villanova. I have no idea how good Villanova will be, but based on these clips, man, Acaden's ready. Acaden's ready to carry an offense, and he wants the smoke. And I would imagine this came about. I mean, I don't believe from looking at this, doesn't look like this is like a drill. I don't see any other players like in line ready to tap in here. This feels like, okay, the day's over. Let's go at it. And if I had to guess on how this game came about, I would just guess Mikel Brown's the best guard at the gym. Everyone knows that, would be my guess at this event. Acaden Lewis wants smoke with the best guard at the event. That would be my guess of how this came about. And I thought Acaden held his own. Now, look, Mikel was the star. He had the loudest moment, and I don't want to take away from that. If there was a winner visually from what happened here, it's Mikel. He looks unstoppable. But I have to double and triple down on my guy. I love that Acaden is looking at the best guy in the gym like, I want him. And trying to prove it and going through him and getting some tough buckets and in his shit forcing a steal. This has reinforced my belief in Acaden Lewis.
Yeah, that's what he, because to your point, just to double down on everything you said, because I agree with everything. That's how Caden's wired. Like, even say what you want. He feels disrespected that Kentucky and Mark Pope basically chose Lowe over him.
Yep.
And he should, and to be honest with you, like, I think Lowe will be good. I think that there is going to be a discussion at some point this season, though, like what it would have been if they did have a Caden. Because I think he's going to
100%.
be that type of guy. I think the competitiveness is there. I think it would have worked out at Kentucky. And look, it could be a world where it works out for both parties. One party's also having to deal with Kevin Willard. So if he overcomes that, like that's the toughest battle he could be put up against. Um, but yeah, I think Caden has all the makings to be one of the better young point guards in college basketball this season. And to your point with the Jeremiah Fears comp, he's being put in a situation where like the ball is going to be in his hands. Like it's there's like I said, Devin Askew's on that roster. God damn it! Like he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot, and he's going to have a chance to do things. And the competitiveness isn't going to go anywhere. The chip on the shoulder isn't going to go anywhere for him. So it's going to be very exciting to watch him um, at Nova this season. We also got to end this by saying that Mikel Brown did come out on top in the ones
Yeah.
competition. He won the ones competition for the college level players. They separated it actually. So it was the college level guys. Mikel Brown won that. And then Deron Rippey won the ones for the high school level guys.
Mm.
So some two very high level things there.
Yeah. Congrats to Mikel. Also, like from this video visually makes a lot of sense. Mikel is unstoppable.
Dog, that like, I'm sorry, that move to the left where he punched it with the left is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you said at the top of this video, obviously, like we know what Mikel can do. Hand up. I didn't know Mikel could do that.
Uh,
I just
I
didn't.
I did.
I didn't know he could go right to left that quick and finish and just rise. I mean, that's I am coming around on the idea that Mikel is a special, pretty unprecedented guard talent here.
Yeah. Come on, Michael.
Yeah, pretty crazy. But I love Acaden though.
Do love a Caden.